here's Brody Brazil.
I certainly realize that the Brandon Aubrey story is not necessarily new anymore in the NFL. And yeah, last year was his rookie season. We're obviously beyond that. But he has resurfaced in the news, and for very good reason, which we'll get to in just a second. So I'm now here to start this video by asking the question, if he's not the best kicker in the NFL, which he might be, I mean, statistically last year, look at the kicks and for how far and for the accuracy. If he's not the best kicker in the NFL, he is at least the most unique kicker in the NFL, right? I mean, former soccer player in college, he was drafted professionally. That didn't work out, so he got into software engineering. I mean, his page and his work profile is still posted on LinkedIn. And then he decides one day, hey, you know what? I think I could kick a football pretty well. He gets into the USFL. He goes to the NFL after 2 years. I mean, what a journey. What a quick ascent. And now he's kicking the football like nobody's business. So we'll get into a little bit of Brandon's backstory here, the resume. And why are we talking about him here and now? Well, because on Saturday night in a preseason game at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, right before halftime against the Raiders, he kicks a 66-yard field goal, which ties the longest ever converted in the NFL. Now, I know what you're thinking. Longest in preseason? No. Longest of any game. 66 yards, that's for regular season. That's also for the postseason, but obviously here in the preseason, it doesn't necessarily count like a regular or postseason game. But still, nonetheless, a 66-yarder is something to talk about. Even more than that, with the NFL Next Gen stats, we now also know that the kick was estimated to be good from 72 yards, if in fact he had kicked it from that distance. It cleared the field goal, the uprights, and the crossbar without any problem. 72 yards is how far away this would have been good for. So obviously he might get that chance this season with the Dallas Cowboys. We'll wait and find out. But last year, his first NFL season, he's a Pro Bowler, he's an All-Pro, and it's crazy considering that 2017, not that long ago, he was on a totally different life path and mission and journey. He was drafted into the MLS by Toronto, Major League Soccer, by the way. And then only in 2019 does he begin training for football, not soccer football like American football. But here he is back in the Notre Dame days, a very good college soccer player. And it's just amazing, right? Some athletes, it doesn't work out. They're highly touted. They're highly skilled. When they go from being an amateur and a collegiate player to a professional, some situations and handlings of players, it just does not work out. So here is his journey to American football. 2017, drafted by Toronto FC2. That's the developmental team for Toronto FC. 2018, he is assigned to the USL's Bethlehem Steel FC, and he is released by that team at the end of that season. And researching some interviews, he said he basically kind of just got lost in the shuffle. As a good player who was well-positioned and just kind of got overtaken by other players and prospects. So he decides, you know what? I'm going to get out of playing soccer. I'm going to go do something else. I'm going to take my degree from Notre Dame and apply that to becoming a software engineer. So he does that for, I suppose, about a year? And then in early 2019, he happens to be watching an NFL game that his wife, Jen, is also watching. They witness somebody miss a field goal. And his wife, Jen, says, literally, this is the quote that they will tell you, you could do that. You could do that. 4 words. You could do that. Simple as that. And all of a sudden, the idea is sparked in both of their brains. Brandon decides, you know what, I'm going to start training to kick a football, 2019 to 2022. So we should also be honest here. It's not like he went out to the park, figured this out in 5 hours, and signed up for the NFL. It doesn't work that way. He spent a couple years, and especially through 2020 and the pandemic into 21 and 22, he begins working with kicking coach Brian Egan. And it works out. He showcases himself. He puts his name out there. If you search the internet, in fact, right here on YouTube, there is almost like an audition tape of him kicking from 40, 50, and 60 yards. And in 2022, he gets the notoriety. He gets the attention. He's drafted into the USFL by the Birmingham Stallions. Why did I mess that one up? Birmingham Stallions. And he was a top kicker in that league. For the 2 years he played in it, the Stallions won both USFL titles. He was integral in terms of their success and converting field goals. So he was not only lucky to get drafted, he was also lucky to be on a very good team and be a key part of them winning 2 titles in a row. Well, guess who notices him there? The NFL, the Dallas Cowboys. And on July 3rd of 2023, the Stallions terminate his contract on purpose because they know that 3 days later, the Dallas Cowboys are going to sign Brandon Aubrey. Isn't that amazing? So now, last year, as you're well aware, and I'll just refresh you on the stats, he's in the NFL. After 2 years of kicking in the USFL, no prior football experience before that. And just let's stop here for a second. How many football players kind of pick it up in Pop Warner or maybe middle school age, but really high school football is kind of where it feels real for the first time and where the passion starts. And then obviously you want to go play college. He literally was beyond college before he even put on a football helmet and started kicking footballs around. It was all that talent, all that skill from kicking a soccer ball around and technique from that he's now applied to the NFL. Last year, he was the best kicker in the NFL with a conversion of 36 of 38 field goal attempts. And I'll also tell you here later that one of them was blocked. He didn't even miss it. It was blocked. Whether that was his fault or the line's fault doesn't matter. It didn't even have the chance. So he really only missed 1 field goal all year. 157 total points. That's also best in the NFL among kickers. So his conversion rate, the success rate of 94.7%, it's third best in the NFL. In his first NFL season, all that pressure, all that newness, all that, lack of experience, and look what he does. He was also 10 for 10 in kicks from 50 yards or greater last year. In fact, I think the 2 that he missed, one was blocked and one that was just missed, I think they were both in the 30-yard range. So he was perfect from 40 plus. He was perfect from 50 plus. It's telling, right? It's amazing and telling. And if he really just kicked one that could have been good from 72, you'd have to think this year that if the opportunity arises, watching the kick he had on Saturday night in Las Vegas from his own 45, it was unreal and amazing to watch. So it's a fun story, right? It's somebody to root for. And I know the Cowboys aren't everybody's team, even if they are America's team. Definitely not everybody's team. And so you can't necessarily root for the team, some of you out there, but the individual and stories like this, I find tremendous. I hope everybody was aware of his backstory. And again, from software engineer to the Dallas Cowboys, to one of the best place kickers in the NFL last season. Truly an amazing journey. I'll be watching him this season and you know what? Pulling for him when and where it feels right. You made it here to the end of this video. I really appreciate that. Thumbs up down below. That'll greatly help me, this video, and this channel. I would like that, but I would also love it if you just take 1 second right now before this ends, go down there, hit that subscribe button so I can definitely see you for more great content back here next time.